André Pienaar and Johannes Fourie will be back in the Senekal Magistrates Court this morning. They're charged with attempted murder and inciting public violence when a group of farmers stormed the court building. That was back in October last year. That commotion started when two suspects arrested in connection with the murder of 21-year-old farm manager Brendan Horner in Paul Rue. Our reporter Mbali Thethani, she is watching the story and joins us now live from just outside court. Mbali, around this time last year in October, where you're at was a hive of activity. Perhaps let's begin with just the mood you're sensing there this morning.
Well, of course, Ayanda, you would remember that last year in October when, of course, those two men who were accused of the murder of the farm manager, Brendan Horner, did appear here last year. We saw chaos breaking out here. And, of course, we saw that police vehicle which was torched. And that is the result of why we see these two businessmen. We know that André Pienaar as well as Johannes Fourie, they are expected back at the Senekal Magistrates Court, and they have been charged with incitement of violence and public violence as well as attempted murder. Now, of course, you would remember that they did appear last year. Initially, bail was denied, and then much later on, they were then granted that bail. But they also did appear once more again this year, Ayanda. And of course, it is in connection with that violence that played out when they attacked this specific court, looking for those suspects who are, of course, arrested for the murder of Brendan Horner. But we know that when they do appear today, there was the issue around a psychiatric evaluation which was expected to take place, especially for André Pienaar. We saw his legal representatives saying that he suffers from bipolar disorder. So when he does appear this morning, Ayanda, the court here is awaiting that report, that psychiatric evaluation to see and assess his bipolar disorder. But at the same time, Ayanda, we also know that the two accused who are still in incarceration, they also appeared last month in connection with the murder of Brendan Horner. They are also then expected back at this court. So we know that there are these two matters which are running, and of course the one is for the murder of the farm manager, while at the same time today we are here to hear when it comes to the issue around the charges facing the two businessmen, when those two alleged suspects, when they actually appeared here at the Senekal Magistrates Court, when the public violence actually broke out here.
Yeah, and but it was quite a chaotic scene when it actually happened. Do we know how these two individuals that are set to appear today have been implicated?
Of course, there was that public violence in which we saw, and much later on, Ayanda, when they did make another appearance, we then saw a number of political parties making their way to this court. That also included the likes of the EFF, the ANC, and they were saying that, well, they are defending public property and, of course, this institution, which is a court. But how they are implicated, Ayanda, it is the issue of what have actually broke out here on the day when the two suspects, those who are alleged to have murdered Brendan Horner, that 21-year-old farm manager. You would have remembered scenes coming out from here where there was a number of farmers in the area who came to come and show their support and solidarity for the young farmer who had been killed. Now, we know that there was the issue of the police van that was torched. There were also shots fired inside this specific courtroom, in retaliation, or rather showing their anger towards the death of the farm manager. So that's how they have been involved in this matter, and that is, of course, André Pienaar as well as Johannes Fourie. So they are facing public violence charges in relation to what happened here when the two alleged perpetrators, those who are responsible for the killing of Brendan Horner, when they appeared. So when we look at this issue here now, Ayanda, they are appearing for the matter when it comes to public violence, when we saw the police car being torched, at the same time seeing the attack on the courts.
All right, Mbali Thethani, our reporter, live to us there from just outside the Senekal Magistrates Court. Mbali, thanks very much indeed.